there everyone! Another fun field of learning in English 10. After discussing about text structure on the previous discussion, now it is our time to find ways on how to easily understand a particular text. So what are you waiting for? This is Miss Jonacel O. Cristobal, your English teacher. For the first task, I am going to show you illustrations or graphs on the succeeding slides. You have to give me your idea about the illustrations by providing their uses, or if you could recognize their name, that is much better. Shall we start? Let's get it on! What is this chart for? Very good. This chart could be used for giving relationships of concepts or ideas. Maybe on right part, you will jot down the main concept and the sub-concepts that describe the main idea or the main concept will be on the left part. Let's have the second illustration. Good job! This is called Fishbone. Maybe your teacher in English or science before asked you to create a fishbone chart for summarizing the main points and key concepts of a certain topic. Let's say types of foods or reasons of someone's lack of sleep. How about this class? Excellent. Well, I guess this is very common for everyone, the Venn diagram. It is used for giving the similarities, which is written on the middle part of the circle or the overlapping part, and their differences on both sides. Very good class. Now we are ready to meet their sisters and brothers. By the way, how do we categorize the following illustrations? That is right. They are graphic organizers. We thought that only teachers can utilize these things, but you are wrong. Students like you can also use the so-called textual aids. These are educational instruments that could be in the form of written texts or printed texts and other ways of emphasizing the essential phrases, thoughts, graphs, and or images. And graphic or advanced organizers are examples of textual aids. So one way, class, to understand a particular text is through these graphs, charts, or illustrations. Now, let's proceed. Presenting to you our objectives for the day. First, you would be able to recognize the different types of textual aids. Second, let's appreciate the importance of textual aids in understanding the text. Third, let us determine the uses of the different types of textual aids. And the last one, I want you to utilize the textual aids in getting important details of the text. So what are we waiting for? Let's have them one by one. There are different types of organizers based on their uses. We have advanced organizers that show relationships. We also have organizers that organize information into categories. We also have graphic organizers that compare and contrast. And lastly, we have advanced organizers that show sequence, order, or development. Let's have each one of them. The first type of advanced or graphic organizer is showing relationships. We have the first one, the cause and effect relationship. You can have your own chart in showing the cause and effects of situations, but the graph that you can see is the most commonly used. This type of graphic organizer is used to help students identify the causes of the problems and, of course, its effects. The graph may also provide possible solutions to the problem encountered. So obviously, in this graph, the causes or reasons should be properly labeled, match with their effects. Another graph is called the fishbone. In here, you should analyze the ways in which different aspects of a problem or issues are related to each other. Fishbone can be used to organize the main topics to subtopics or to analyze the causes of something. The main topic is highlighted on the middle part while the supporting details are enumerated on the bones of the fish. Just like what you can see in the outline of the fishbone. Do you have any questions, class, with the first type of textual aid? Well, if there's none, we will be proceeding with the second type. The graphic organizers that organize information into categories. These organizers are useful for explaining the relationships or connections between or among concepts, terms, facts, or information. We have the first one. How do you call that? Great! That is a concept map. In here, brainstorming is applied for certain concept using the bubbles or the cells that you can see around the main topic. Students will be able to identify how they are related to each other. For example, the concept is all about the importance of reading. This will be written in the middle part of the concept map, while gist of importance could be written in the cells of the bubbles. The second example is the KWL chart. K stands for know, what you already know about the topic. W stands for want, what you want to know about the topic to be discussed. And lastly, L stands for learn. What did you learn from the topic discussed? To elaborate, students can use KWL chart to identify their background knowledge on the topic or issue. This is happened in the beginning of the class. What they would like to learn, this can be done throughout the class, and what they have learned, which is evident at the end of the class. And that is KWL chart. We also have class the mind mapping. Students can use the mind mapping to organize information in categories and make problem-solving decisions. Somehow the same with concept map. A mind map involves writing down the central theme at the middle part and thinking of new and related ideas which radiate out from the center. We are now down to the third type of the graphic organizer. The graphic organizers that compare and contrast. Always remember, class, that if we compare, we look at the similarities, and when we contrast, we see their differences. Compare and contrast organizer is used to give the differences and similarities of the attributes of two or more ideas or concepts. You can create your own graph in here, but what most important is to understand how the text enumerate their similarities and differences. The second one is the most commonly used organizer in comparing and contrasting, the Venn diagram. It is consists of two or three overlapping circles. To identify the differences and similarities between two or three concepts, we write on both sides their differences. On the middle part or the overlapping circles are their similarities. And that is the Venn diagram. And I believe that you already use a Venn diagram in your other subjects in explaining the similarities and differences of concepts or ideas. We also have the T-chart. T-chart gives the pros and the cons of an idea or concept. For example, the issue is all about disregarding the use of face shields. Recently, President Duterte said that face shields are not required unless on closed facility, crowded room, or close contact. Using the T-chart, we can enumerate its advantages or the pros of not using face shield and the disadvantages or the cons of not using face shield outside. Do you have any queries, class? Well, the last type of organizer is an organizer that shows sequence, order, or the development. These type of organizers show listing, chronological events, orders, or maybe processes. There are various charts and organizers of this type, but I have here below the most commonly used. We have the flow chart, ladder chart, chain, picture web, and story map. The main purpose of this organizer is to summarize informations, which gives you orders of events. Like the chain, it could be used in giving timeline too. The same thing goes by in the use of storyboard. It provides scenes of story. On one hand, story map maps out the elements of the story. The graphic organizers such as flowchart, ladder chart, and picture web illustrate sequence of ideas or concepts. One common of these three is it gives the proper flow or order of the ideas. To give you an overview of the appearance of these charts, here are their pictures. For the flow chart, for the ladder chart, for the chain, for picture web, and for story map. So, I hope class that you are able to refresh your mind regarding the topic textual aids, particularly the graphic organizers that we can use. Always remember that these are useful in order for us to understand more the text clearly and easily. It is also used to summarize the information, the significant details provided by the texts. Do you have some queries, class? Well, if there's none, here is your task for today. Read and understand the text below and identify its text structure. Then, apply what graphic organizer is appropriate to use to understand the text clearly. Once done, you may submit it in our virtual group. Have a nice day, everyone. Goodbye.